be the last week I have to do a video in the dark because next week I'm gonna get a new laptop, so you guys will see my uh, face again, and I don't have to be in the dark as much. I just got back from the theater to seeing Spider-Man. Congratulations, you got your tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home. I saw it in Manhattan, and I had a freaking blast, guys. I wish you could see my face. I'm going to just do this for a while because I want you guys to see my face. I don't want to do the whole video in the dark because I have no electricity in my room. My dad's too lazy to get electricity done. But this is not about him. This is about Spider-Man. Yes, I finally saw the 27th movie of the MCU, the third movie in this franchise, a solo movie, and the eighth live-action Spider-Man movie in the U.S. And it says, yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home just put an enormous Thursday night box office. Of course it is. This movie's going to make $1 billion with how much heart and soul and freaking beautiful emotion this movie has. And it's earned. None of this feels forced. And the fact that this movie came out in December, just like Into the Spider-Verse, I'm like, yeah, this was like a live action Into the Spider-Verse. Hey, Jay, what's up? Yeah, this movie it follows Peter Parker asked Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, who was amazing in this movie, by the way, like he always is in these kind of films, to make his identity as Spider-Man a secret again with magic following its public revelation. But it breaks down over the multiverse, opens the multiverse, and allows 5 supervillains from alternate realities who fought their own versions as Parker to enter his universe. Yeah, pretty much that's it, except for Rhino, who they reference, but they don't show it. Hey, Josh, you just made it. I just started, but this movie was freaking amazing. This is my favorite movie of 2021, regardless, no matter what. I loved Shang-Chi, but I didn't have the experience I wanted in the theater because I was vaccinated and my arm was killing me. But this I did. Great crowd, a lot of applause, a lot of cheering for Tobey. Well, you'll see the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot of fan service here for fans of the Tobey Maguire movies, the Andrew Garfield movies, and of course this Peter Parker's movies as well. And the post-credit scene, I won't spoil it. It's one. The second post-credit scene is basically just a trailer for one of the films coming out next year, so that's not much of a spoiler. It doesn't. I'm not going to say nothing about Multiverse of Madness. That's coming. I cannot wait next year. And yeah, this is the third Spider-Man movie in a trilogy in 14 years since Spider-Man 3, and it paid in dividends. It doesn't feel that long. This is the same running time as Eternals, and I never felt the running time. For 2 hours and 28 minutes without the end credits, it was like 2 hours 23 minutes. I didn't feel a thing. I didn't feel any of the running time, the long conversations, which they're not that long, or the cameos. There's a lot of cameos. I'm not saying a word. Even the characters in the last movies like Betty and what's his face? So Flash and JB Smooth's character and that teacher, they're basically cameos. You're not going to miss them much. And Betty, I'm glad was a cameo because I wasn't a big fan of this version of Betty in these last 2 films. And this topped the last movie without any question. It got critical reviews. Yeah, I am happy both Toby and Maguire. I know, but I'm not going to say when it happens. You guys know what I'm talking about. This is going to be mostly spoiler free. Things I didn't like about it is very few nitpicks. One was Ned's mother, having her speak in Filipino without subtitles. I'm like, we get it. You have the older grandma or mother that doesn't know, that barely knows English, and she knows like 3 words. Don't put them in the movie next time. This is the 3rd time this has happened. We had this in Homecoming with the Spanish guy in Queens. Then the second movie with the people in Netherlands or whatever. I'm like, we get it. You want an international appeal, Sony. Don't put this in the next movie. Just put Miles and I'll be happy. He's not in this movie, by the way. There's a wink and a nudge, about him, but you'll get there in the second half of the film. The film received great critics from critics. Of course it did. This is the Into the Spider-Verse live action version I needed after a year of bullshit that I had in the theater with Eternals and disappointments like Black Widow, which was not the worst. It's not in my worst this year, but it could have been a lot better. And also, I love Shang-Chi, but like I said, there's too many subtitles. What was another one? Even the MCU shows this year were very hit and miss. We had highs like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision, but we had some stinkers. Like Loki was there, and What If I don't care about. And whatchamacallit, Hawkeye's good, but there's things in it I'm not a fan of. Here, there were no Bintos. There were no female Bintos. Yeah. There wasn't a female that was so god awful in the movie that took me out of the film like completely, like Cersei in Eternals or freaking Binto in Black Widow. They said the chemistry of the cast, yes. The cast in this, most of it just they acted like they've been working with each other for many years, just like the cast of the Avengers and Guardians, etc. Also, screenplay, emotional weights, definitely. Endgame is still more emotional than this, though, because it was long and epic, and it had so many people in it. And action sequences, cinematography, and musical score. Yeah, I love the score of these movies. Way better than the Amazing Spider-Man movies. A sequel is currently in development, of course. This isn't going to make $1 billion. It's going to crack it in the next month. And like I said, I didn't want this movie spoiled for me because there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie and a lot of fan service and a lot of quippy dialogue that you're gonna love if you're a fan of the Tobey Maguire movies, the Andrew Garfield movies, and even the recent ones, even into the Spider Verse, which it felt like. And also, no spoilers here, but Emma Watson, Emma Stone, and Kirsten Dunst don't show up in this movie. I wanted them to, but it was just a rumor last year. They're not back. They're kind of mentioned, a wink and a nudge, but they're not in the movie. The film, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of action. It's not just one at the end. It's spread out, like the scene you saw in the trailer when you saw when they showed Doc Ock again coming out from under the ground. Alfred Molina can still act his ass off, even fatter and older after Spider-Man 2, the guy still is the best villain in the MC in the not in the MCU, but in that Sony Spider-Verse. Willem Dafoe always steals the show. They have the Power Ranger suit like in the first one, but then later they give him another design. They kind of do that. You saw that in the trailer though. Basically, Sandman. It was good to see him back. It was Thomas Hayden Church's voice. The lizard looked a lot better here than in the Amazing film. And what was the other one? I think that's it. I mentioned all of them, right? Doc Ock, yeah, Sandman, yeah, yeah. It was basically like the Sinister Six or Sinister Five. We'll get a sixth version next time. But yeah, this is a movie that needs to be seen to be believed. It does. It's the best of the trilogy without question. The emotional scene in the middle of the film, it holds so much weight. I teared up in the theater a bit. And but after that, you get the kick-ass third act, which I'm not going to spoil. Go see it for yourselves, guys. This is a movie to see in theaters. Don't wait till streaming. It won't be the same. It won't be the same experience unless you're with a group of people. It's a blast to watch in the theater. I had a great time. This is the redemption for the last MCU movie letting me down so badly. It wasn't freaking boring. They don't retcon the ending of the last movie like they did with some other films. I'm happy, but wait, you mean Electro? Yeah, Electro. I said Electro, Electro, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Sandman, Lizard, and that's it. And then there's another guy that shows up in the post-credit scene, but I'm not going to say who. Um, yeah, and the movie it was tight. There's a lot of comedy in it, but it's a Spider-Man movie, guys. It's like having Deadpool and not having be funny. Yeah, that happened before with Origins Wolverine, and the movie didn't take. Wong was basically a cameo because he cameoed in Shang-Chi. Um, the film didn't have like cringe-worthy scenes in the movie, except for the Ned's mother. I thought it was like, yeah, we get it. We already got our Asian fix with Shang-Chi. Thanks. We don't need another one. We don't need more subtitles or no, we don't need that. That scene could have easily been trimmed. They just wanted her to have a personality because I guess we never saw Ned's family in the first two films. But Jacob Batalon is fine. I didn't see Tom Holland's brother. They said he was in the movie, but I didn't see him. Maybe he was cut in a post credit scene. I don't know. For the Blu-ray. Let me see. Uh, cameo appearance. Yeah, his scenes were removed. It says it here on Wikipedia. Uh, Holland's brother Harry was set to make a cameo appearance as a drug dealer, but his scenes were removed for the final cut. Yeah, this movie didn't need any drugs in it. It's fine the way it is. It doesn't need drugs or alcohol or any kind of pills or anything because with the bad year that we had, not as bad as last year, it didn't need any controlled substances. I was already on fire at the end of the film. I didn't need drugs in my system. And this movie's going to make a ton of money. I'm glad I saw it in the theater. Uh, Multiverse of Madness, I'll see it in another theater. That's the 28th movie in the MCU because Morbius, I'm not really that interested in. And the future of this film, yeah, we all know Miles is going to come in the next movie. That's almost guaranteed. They've been winking and nudging him for too long now. After Across the Spider-Verse, put him in. It's time. It is so long overdue. Yeah, they said that they're hoping for a film to focus on Miles instead of Peter. They will, because you can patch the torch, and it'll work because people already love him in the video game and the cartoons and in that animated movie. But yeah, let's hope that Marvel and Sony. There is a sequel, a movie of Venom 2 should have been better than this. A lot of movies should have been just as good as this, but it just they won't reach this height. Because Venom 2, when it came out, I'm like, it's going to be a cartoon just like the first one, and it was, and it got a worse reaction than the first one. But here, this is how you do it. Yeah, there's a lot of Brits doing American accents, but I'm like, compared to Binto in the last two movies that we saw, the Mintos that we saw and suffered through, they're not boring. Holland, Cumberbatch, and Alfred Molina, and even Andrew Garfield has his moments. Well, when you see him, you know he's in the movie. That was not going to be a surprise because I'm like, I'm not going to say when though. But when I do a spoiler podcast, hopefully with my friends next year, I will get to that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching my video on Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm glad I'm home. I made it home safely through the COVID, through all the bullshit I went through. I got to see this movie in the theater. Omicron did not get me, and I'm so glad that I made it throughout this year. It was the best way to end 2020 on a high note. Merry Christmas to me, an early Christmas gift. I couldn't be happier with what we got. And thanks for watching my videos all throughout this year. I will do more videos next week when I have a new laptop. Live commentaries are coming at the end of December and early January. I'm going to keep going, man. The freight train keeps going because John Avenger is here to stay. And I'm going to keep reviewing these awesome MCU movies that when they put effort, you can see it on screen with the cast and the humor and the good pacing, because that was not non-existent in Eternals. I was just bored out of my mind. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is one of the best movies of the year, my favorite movie of the year. Considering how much more I love this character than Shang-Chi, because I knew nothing about him, Shang-Chi, and I do love that character, but Spidey means more to me than a lot of these new characters, mainly because I grew up with him. I saw the 90s cartoon. I saw the Tobey Maguire movies in the theater. I saw the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon on Disney XD, and also the Spider-Man cartoon from 2017. So this character's been in my life a lot. So bye, Little Sims. Bye, Josh. I'll talk to you later on Facebook. Thanks for watching, guys. Go see this movie. Support good cinema. Long live good movies. Take it easy. Later.